What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today we have Dylan, one of the McGaughys boys, getting everything torn down so we can get this 4-inch kit installed on the truck. Now you guys can see here they have these beautiful steer knuckles. Look at the quality of these things. These things are thick and they're going to help us gain more suspension travel with this truck. Yeah, 38 don't fit.
What size was it?
38 by 13 and a half? $32,000 miles. What do you think, Nick?
That's what I think.
Yeah, dude, it's terrible, man.
Dude, so wire brush on a drill, real simple, but after and before, that's what we're looking at. Wow. So we'll get them all painted up and then it'll look good. And then you'll just have to maintain them, but no big deal.
Oh yeah. Yeah, look at how bad this is, guys. This
Yeah.
truck's not even 3 years old yet. Looks so much better. A little bit of paint. Now they're protected and they won't rust. Just gotta do a little bit of touch up here and there. So I want to show you guys really quickly because I want you guys to understand what we're doing here. If the manufacturer were to build this truck for just the AT4X and ZR2, for the framing part, they would have to move this position of this bolt.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna let Nick explain this because this is a 4-inch with McGaughys, right? So if you want that 4-inch lift on this truck, level on this truck, whatever you wanna call it, this is how you get that 4 inches here.
Well, this is going to be a true lift kit. Anytime
Yeah.
you use a cross member that drops the lower control arm bolt position down, that is going to be a true lift kit. Anything that keeps the lower control, any type of raise of the suspension that keeps the lower control arm in the factory position is what the aftermarket world calls a leveling kit.
I see.
More or less a leveling kit. It was only developed because leveling kits, you know that you only have so much suspension to work with, and all you're trying to do is just get a little bit more height, 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches, to match the rear. Whether it's a Tacoma, whether it's a GMC, HD, a half ton, whatever the case is, it's only ever looking for a 1.5 inches to 2 inches.
Yeah.
And just like GM did, they raised the front 2 inches. But the problem, as we've all been talking about this whole time, is that creates more angle, which then doesn't allow you to do much more after that, and then you have to jump to the true 4-inch kit. Now, if GM wanted to replicate something like this, then they would basically form this cross member down and put the bolt position, at the 2-inch mark. And then at that 2-inch mark, that would be technically a lift kit.
Right.
And with that, well, not a lift kit, but that would be the new position of the chassis, and it would come 2 inches higher than a standard Denali. That would all make sense at that point. And then at that point, let's just say if we were speaking about it, like McGaughys would come in and then make their 4-inch kit that would go on top of that.
Yeah.
So then it would be 6 inches over a
Correct.
factory Denali.
Correct.
And I'm using Denali as a standard ground baseline. truck. Because if I say standard truck, I just want everyone to know that we're talking like a non AT4X, non ZR2 HD truck that has stock height.
Right.
Because all those come, and just a lot of people, I have come across some people that have purchased the AT4, not the X, but the AT4, and for some reason, I think some of the GM sales reps have got confused that the AT4 also comes with 2-inch, lift on it. It doesn't. And I've had some guys approach me like, hey, well, I have the 2-inch lift. Which truck do you have? Do you have the multimatic shocks or do you not? And if they don't have the multimatic shocks, they don't have the lift. It's just standard height, AT4 standard height. That is just like a Denali.
Yeah. So this kind of work with me here on this next one.
Go for it.
So for example, if GM did actually modify this frame and drop this bolt here, 2 inches.
Yeah.
If somebody wanted to do a leveling kit, then they would probably have enough juke travel.
Well, so following along with your theory, if GM's new bolt position was right here, 2 inches, so the truck actually gained a true 2 inches of ride height correctly.
Yeah.
And then that would be, a standard Denali and 2 inches over, because this frame would be in a different position than the pivot bolt. And if you did a leveling kit to that, just like your other, AT4s and Denalis,
right?
Well, then you would be back to the AT4X angles again.
I see. Okay, so again, it goes back to you have to lift this truck.
It goes back to if GM gave someone a true 2 inches of lift, someone would stretch it again.
I see.
At the end of the day, we fight this all the time with our 4-inch kit, because people will purchase it. I've come across where I had someone show us, oh, hey, I did my ZR2 with your 4-inch kit. And I was like, that looks tall. How many shims did you put in the back? And I was informed that they mounted the 1 3/4 rear block that comes in the kit on top of the factory 1.5-inch block that comes on the ZR2, and then the front end they tried to level it to match the rear, which then the angles were horrible again, and it just defeated the whole purpose. It was improperly. They took the block out and reset everything. But the point is every time you give someone X amount of space, they want more, and they want to stretch the limits more.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, we just need to put out information and just make people more aware, so they can be wisely choosing what direction they want to go.
Correct.
It's not, if you choose to level your truck, that's totally fine. Leveling kits are great. Used properly. When you start to overstretch them, I mean, it's just like anything else. You do the all your Duramax, deletion and all that, your weight loss. Well, if you push the numbers on the dyno, you run the risk of complications.
Yeah.
You push the limits of your suspension, you run the risk of complications. We fight as men. Pushing the limits. That's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah.
So just trying to advocate all this better direction to go, and the people that want to do it, they do it, and others, so be it. No big deal.
And I appreciate you explaining this, because I know for some people they're going to still not understand why they can't just turn up the torsion keys. We've already shown the videos before this one, and I'm sure someone's going to keep asking this question.
Well, the reality is that we've thrown a lot in these videos that you're making with your truck, just because there's so many things going on. But, I will say that if there is, if you want something that's really informative just on the truck, I did put out on my personal YouTube channel what makes an AT4X ZR2 HD multimatic shock 2-inch lift truck. Like, what is the configuration? Has nothing that we don't talk. I don't talk about anything aftermarket, anything additional. I break down what the truck comes with factory, so then it's a better explanation of understanding what it is, so then you can make an educated decision on where to go with that, whether you want to leave it the way it is, whether you want to modify it like you're doing. And it's a good baseline to understand, because I feel that the public, the truck owners, the community with this truck, GM has a very watered down explanation of this AT4X and ZR2. It's not informative at all. It just says it comes with a 1.5-inch kit on it, and so it leaves a lot of people with questions in their mind what they can do to it. So that's why I made that video. It's just to be a little bit more informative and down to get a baseline of what the truck is, and then you can make a decision where you want to go.
Cool.
I feel personally, if you want to add any height to it, that this 4-inch kit is the best way of going about it. And it's not a brand loyalty thing. It's just facts of like how this is all designed and what it provides for you.
No, thank you, brother. This is super helpful, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna be able to gas it out of the driveway with this, and you're not gonna be pulling out of your chair.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So that's the great thing once it's all said and done. Yeah. If anyone's seen I don't know where the other video is gonna land.
It's gonna land for this one.
He gassed it out of the driveway and about cracked the windshield because he jumped out of his seat.
Yeah, we turned up the torsion keys because I wanted to show people, hey, this is what happens when you do it. You can do it.
Well, it wasn't really that you wanted to show. I mean, show people because you can't really show them because you're in the truck.
Yeah.
But I think it was kind of like the aha of like straight up, that sucks.
Yeah.
It's harsh. You get the look, but the harshness of the ride is yeah.
And if you want to do it, I promise you, you're going to land right here every single time. Get the McGaughys kit. It's $4,000 for the lift kit and another $1,000 for the upper control arm, but
a little bit less than that. But
okay.
You know, again, here's the thing to keep in mind. Put dollar figure to the side for a second, and we're talking about. Hopefully, no wives know about this so that their husbands purchased a truck like this. But we're talking brand new. These trucks are basically $80,000-$90,000. Off the showroom floor.
For a gas truck, that is.
Well, I mean, depending on the configuration, right? The AEV edition's a little bit more.
110.
Yeah. And so the reality is that you could have purchased a standard AT4, a standard 2500, and basically just saved a little bit of money, but still got the performance package of what a Duramax offers you. The payload, the towability, and all that stuff.
Right.
You could have. But you're the type of person that if you own one of these trucks, you want a little bit more. You want the better interior, you want the better stereo system, you want those amenities that is worth purchasing. But you learned about them and you made an educated decision of why you spent extra money on that actual package of a truck.
Yeah.
This is no different. This is no different. You didn't walk into the dealership and say, well, I could get a standard one for this much, but I want the premium. And I can't just that's just the premium price.
Exactly.
So when it comes down to it, if this meets your demand, again, it does come with a cost, but it's you get what you pay for.
No, 100%, and I appreciate this, dude. Seriously. Since you guys stayed to the end, I figured I'd show you guys a sneak peek of the truck. I could not be happier, guys. I have the biggest smile on my face because I've already put 1,000 miles on the truck, and man, oh my gosh. Now, I gotta give my boy Dylan a special shout out in this video because that guy is 20 years old, and what you guys saw, everything that you see done on this truck, he did it. He pulled down the full drive. I mean, this kid, I call him a kid because he's only 20. I'm almost 20 years older than him. So I can call him a kid. But he's been doing that since he was 14 years old. And that was the owner's son. I can't wait for you guys to meet the owner. These guys are the most genuine people you ever meet. And that's why I'm so happy I am supporting this company. Big shout out to McGaughys, for sure, because these guys love what they do. And when you see some of the videos with Steve McGaughey, I want you guys to watch the whole videos too, seriously. When we do the shop walk, I'm telling you, you'll just want to buy something from him just because they're just the most genuine people in the world. Now, I want to respond to one of my videos I did turning up my torsion keys. You guys think that I'm trying to prove a point against you, and I'm not. I don't care about being right or wrong. All I'm doing is just showing you what I'm doing because I get a lot of questions. Remember from the very beginning, You guys asked me about dually trucks. I never owned a dually truck, so I went out and bought one. You guys asked me about Banks products. I never owned Banks products, so I went out and bought some. You guys asked me about deleting, or excuse me, I don't delete, I do weight loss program. So I decided to do it. So when you guys ask me questions you have not noticed yet, I typically will go out and just do what you ask if I can afford to do it. And so that's why I lifted this truck, because people at the very beginning, when I first got this truck, go back and watch my very first videos of this truck when it was bone stock. People were asking me, why does this truck ride so stiff? I have emails from guys bought the brand new 2024 AEV editions. A guy emailed me saying, dude, does your truck ride stiff? And I told him, yeah, it does kind of ride stiff, but I said it's probably because of the stiffer sidewall tires. That is part of it, and that's why I wanted Nick Vasquez to explain it the way he did in this video. That's why I asked the question the way I did, so you can understand GM did not change anything on the framing of this truck for it to have a actual lift. This truck has a leveling kit from the factory. If you look at the angles, look at my angles right now with this McGaughys kit. Look at that. That is better than the factory, guys. This is better than the factory. I don't know how to explain it to you. Go look at a regular, or not regular, go look at an AT4X, bone stock. It will have a little bit of angle on the CV axle and on the tie rod ends because GM leveled the truck. Now they did change the upper and lower control arms. They also added some diff drop mounts in there too. But the reality is the truck is leveled and you still get a little slight angle. Now, if you go pull up a stock AT4X to a regular AT4, you'll see that the AT4, the angles look like mine now. And that's simply because those trucks are running on the factory suspension with the factory positioned with the cross member, basically. I hope that explains it. And so when I decided to turn up my torsion keys to show and prove to you guys that you cannot do that with these trucks, you lose way too much droop travel and it rides like a Tonka truck. It rides like you have no suspension at all. Like it's just like you're just riding on the bump stops, basically. That's how it feels when you turn up the torsion keys. And that's simply because GM leveled this truck from the factory. So that's why as you continue to turn up the torsion keys, even if you do 4 turns like you guys were saying, the truck is already turned up a little bit. And so this answers the question of why this truck rides so stiff when it was brand new. I didn't really know how to explain it because I didn't know. I just blamed it on the tires because I just didn't know. But Nick Vasquez explained it to me. So that's why these trucks ride so stiff, because they don't actually have a true lift. They're leveled on the front and they just add the block in the rear. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, I'm not trying to get you to go out and buy a McGaughys kit. I'm just trying to prove to you guys, hey, a lot of people have been asking me this question. And listen, if you remember asking that question in the past, if you test driven this truck, and if you drove a AT4 right afterwards, I think that the AT4X 2500 rides stiffer than the 1-tons. But people ask me that question, and if you did ask, let me know in the comment section. Did you notice that these trucks rode stiff when they first came out? I did. I just didn't care. I was like, it is what it is. I thought the Multimatics would be a lot better. And I am still fighting McGaughys to give me, you know, first dibs on those M84s. Once they release their M84 shocks, I'm getting rid of these Multimatics. They're gone. I can't wait. I mean, the truck rides better, but I want to try out their shocks because I drove Nick Vasquez's truck, and he's dirty. He wanted me to drive his truck, and I did, and now I want the M84s now because they're not even done testing them, but they're already better than this. I can already tell. So stay tuned for the videos for the drive. My wife's going to give her impressions. And listen, I have a friend who has an AT4X. He's going to drive my truck, and we're going to drive his truck, and then we're going to drive my truck. I'm not going to sit here and lie to you guys. I know some of you guys think I'm trying to push McGaughys, but I'm not making any money on this. There's no money being made for me to push McGaughys right now. I just did this because I wanted to try out to see if this would actually fix the issues that people had. And now I can confirm in this video, yes, my truck rides better than stock. And I'll let you guys know about my steering feel too, because that's something else that's changed as well. This video's gone too long. I'll see you guys really soon.